You ever get called useless so hard that it rewires your soul? Because that's what she did. In front of everyone. Laughed at my shoes. Rolled her eyes at my dreams. Said I'd end up sweeping her porch for coins. But years later, I pulled up in a roaring Dodge Hellcat while she counted change for the bus. Let me tell you what happened in between. This isn't just about revenge. It's about how a single insult, one brutal moment of public shame, can light a fire so deep it burns through every excuse you ever had. By the end of this, you'll understand the cost of giving up and the power of proving them wrong. I was 17, skinny, wore thrift store hoodies and old sneakers. While other kids showed off their parents' Teslas and Gucci belts, I carried 2 books in my hands and a cracked phone in my pocket. Her name was Alyssa, and to this day, I remember the way she made the hallway freeze. Long black hair, flawless skin, and a voice that could cut through silence like a knife through butter. I had a stupid crush, the kind where you rehearse what you'll say but still choke at high. So when she dropped her notebook and I handed it to her, I thought maybe, just maybe, she looked at me, smirked, and said loud enough for the entire hallway to hear, "Ugh, why is it always the useless ones trying to be nice?" The hallway erupted in laughter. I didn't laugh. I didn't even blink. I just stood there, humiliated, burned. And that fire? It didn't go out. From that day on, I stopped trying to fit in, stopped chasing approval, and started chasing results. I got 2 jobs, one flipping burgers, the other packing boxes at a dusty warehouse from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. I slept in class, missed parties, said no to almost everything. But my laptop, that old, slow thing I bought used, it became my portal. I learned about coding, about sales funnels, about copywriting, psychology, affiliate marketing. I consumed knowledge like oxygen. But here's where it really hurt. While I was grinding through those nights, I'd see her on social media, drinks in hand, weekends at beach houses, laughing with boys who probably drove daddy's Range Rover. She didn't remember me, but I remembered everything. I'd replay that hallway moment like a loop movie, and each time I'd whisper, "I'll show you." By 19, I made my first $1,000 online. By 20, I quit my jobs. By 21, I launched a digital product that exploded. But I wasn't done. Not until fate let us meet again. And just when I stopped caring, just when I thought I'd moved on, there she was. Same black hair, same sharp stare. Except this time, standing at a bus stop, rummaging through her purse, counting coins. And me, behind the wheel of a matte black Dodge Hellcat, windows down, engine growling like a beast. I didn't plan it, but when she looked up and our eyes met, something in her froze. Like her memory came rushing back all at once. I smiled, didn't say a word, only revved the engine. She looked up from her hands, fingers wrapped around 3/4, 2 dimes, and some lint-covered hope. I hadn't planned to stop, but something about her standing there, alone, makeup faded, no sparkle in her eyes. It pulled me back to that same hallway, except this time, I was the one towering over her. She tilted her head, confused, searching for recognition. It took her 5 seconds to realize. Then it hit her. "No way," she whispered. "You're Nate." I smiled. She took a step forward, brushing hair from her face. "I haven't seen you since school," she said, fake warmth dripping from her voice. "You look different. You always had potential," she added quickly. "I mean, I used to say dumb things back then." "Used to? You heading somewhere?" "No, just cruising." "You waiting for the bus?" "Yeah, car trouble. Just trying to get downtown." "Cool. Want a ride?" Her face lit up. "You don't mind?" She was desperate to climb back into the life she once tossed aside like a candy wrapper. And me? I was about to show her the view from the seat she never believed I'd earn. She got in. "This car is insane," she said. "You always into muscle cars?" "Got it last year. Bought it cash." "Wow. What do you do?" "I build things. Online. Passive income." "That's awesome. Maybe you could help me." I stopped at a red light, looked her straight in the eyes. You ever think about that day in the hallway? What? You said I was useless. Oh, Nate, that was, God, I was such a kid. You did, and that's fine. Honestly, you were right. What? That kid? He was nothing. Broke. Insecure. But the guy driving this car? He owes everything to that moment. I dropped her off downtown. She didn't ask for my number. Didn't even say goodbye properly. Because deep down, she knew. She spent years judging value by outfits and bank accounts. And now the boy she laughed at was the man who no longer needed her validation. Let them underestimate you. Just make sure they never forget you. She thought I wouldn't remember, but the face I had that day was the face she'll never forget. The next morning, she messaged, "Thanks for the ride. It was nice catching up." Or coffee. "I'd love to hear more about what you do. You always were so sweet. I've changed. Promise." 2 days later, she showed up at my event. I was speaking at a business workshop downtown. Maybe we could collaborate. Combine my network and your business. I appreciate it, but I'm focused. My time's locked. You seeing anyone? Yeah, I am. That was a lie, but it was the only way to shut the door without slamming it. Later that week, she posted a throwback. Crazy how life brings people full circle. Some souls never change, red heart. She didn't want me. She wanted the image. I didn't respond. Didn't drag her. Didn't need to. Real growth doesn't scream. It whispers. And mine was loud enough just by existing. You don't need revenge. You don't need to beg people to see your worth. Let your becoming do the talking. She wanted back in. But this time, I was already gone. Then came Aria. She didn't ask what I did. She asked what I loved. She saw me before the glow-up, when I was still healing. We walked, talked. No mention of money or cars. You carry weight, she said, like someone who had to prove himself. I used to let people define me. One called me useless. You don't move like someone who believes that now. And she was right, because love isn't earned through power. It's earned through presence. The first time she saw the Hellcat, she laughed. "Let me guess, you bought this for revenge." "Not anymore." "Then why?" "To remind myself I could." "Cool. But I'd still like you if you rode a bike." She saw me. Not the bank balance. Not the badge. Me. Because the real ones, they don't need a glow-up to value you. They see the spark before it turns into fire. It was a Sunday afternoon. Aria and I were at a cafe, laughing, planning, dreaming, and across the street, Alyssa, paper bag in hand, old shoes, tired eyes. She saw me, and I reached for Aria's hand. Alyssa stood still, then lowered her head and walked away. No drama, just truth, because she saw the life I built, but only from the outside. She couldn't enter anymore, and I didn't need to shut the door. It had closed itself. You don't need to prove anyone wrong. Just become so undeniable. They don't even have access to who you are now. She called me useless, but now I'm just unreachable. If you've ever been laughed at, dismissed, underestimated, remember this. Your past doesn't define you. Your drive does. Subscribe. Drop a fire if you've been there. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the greatest revenge is no longer needing one.